Hey everybody, welcome to In the Pit podcast. I'm your host, Chris Sturk, and today I have here with me Ben Labat. And Ben, first of all, am I saying that correct?
I go by Labat, but it's pronounced Labat.
Labat. I apologize. Right when I said that, I was like, I bet you I'm saying it wrong because I'm known for saying those things wrong.
It's all good, man.
So we got Ben here to talk about his new single and also his music process. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, but I do want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into his new single. This is called Rocket Heart, and we're going to play it right now for you, and then we'll talk with Ben about the process of writing his music. If you want to check out more about this podcast, go to f28live.com. You can see us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and all other podcast platforms. We're on a bunch, including Google Play as well. So go to f28live.com and you can see all the information to reach out to Ben's music, his social media accounts, website, and all that stuff as well. So right now, let's take a listen to Rocket Heart from Ben.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Dragged you and your rocket heart, were you just like I remember? You're putting the pedal down, and the wheels haven't even come up yet. You and your rocket heart, were you just like I remember? Don't you ever change a thing for me. Don't you ever change for anyone. You ain't the changing kind by far. If I'm going down, I'm going down in flames. If I'm going down.
That is such a good song. So I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of taste so they know what we're going to be talking about before we actually get into it. But one of the things I want to start off with real quick is, how are you holding up during COVID-19 right now?
We're as good as anybody can be. It's what it is, man. It's a new way of doing things for everybody. From I have little kids, getting them into school. I have older parents. Like I'm sure a lot of us do. I don't know. It's tough to adjust with, everything you're doing is an adjustment. So, everybody's doing it together as best they can. There's a lot of frustration. A lot of people got a lot worse than I do.
Now I did see that you have 3 kids, correct?
That is correct. 4, 9, and 10.
Wow. How does it feel? Have you had any kind of, I always hear my friends that have parents always be like, oh my gosh, I'm home with the kids all the time, that kind of thing. How's that going with having 3 kids at home all the time with you before going back to school?
They've gone back to school, for the most part. The schools, they keep everybody in cubicles and distance and everything like that. But, my wife was able to work from home, and during the summer, she was just, she made it, but she was stressed, to say the least.
Can imagine, especially having to be stuck inside that entire time. That can get to a little bit.
And that was the thing. Everybody was just bonkers. So,
have you done any really kind of recording while you're sitting down during this time? I know you have a new single that came out. We're going to talk about that, but have you done any like personal recording or writing?
I've done a ton, actually. I could probably put out another 3 albums.
Wow.
Just in the amount of not finished material, but the amount of songs, probably 40 to 50 songs in various states.
Wow, that's productive. That's productive.
Man, well, it's when you got frustration and stress, and it's always been my kind of, whether it was self-induced or some type of external situation that caused me to be uncomfortable, my vent was always to write. And this situation with the lockdowns and COVID and all that is no different. It's just a different type of stressor that you need to learn how to manage correctly.
What got you to starting music? I know back in 2010, you kind of a slew of things had happened to you, and you kind of went on to a different path and avenue with your music. What was it that initially got you into music? What started the whole process for you that this is what you wanted to do for your life?
Man, as a kid, we were, singing in church choirs, and my mom and my grandfather played piano and organ in church. And I think I was in marching band for not very long, but I played the trumpet and marching band. My mom put us in piano lessons, guitar lessons. And it just kind of, that was all very structured type of music. And then I think for Christmas one year, my parents got me August and Everything After by the Counting Crows, and From the Cradle by From the Cradle by Eric Clapton, and I think also Jimi Hendrix Greatest Hits. And that was like my first exposure to like rock and roll, blues, written songs, and I mean all that kind of just opened up the door to, wow, I want to play this guitar. And kind of self-taught, would get Guitar World magazines and stay in my room for, 6 hours, learning how to play songs. And then eventually, like, man, these songs are good, but I can write. I mean, we have to write papers for school. Why don't I why not put words to music? And I don't know, it just kind of clicked. And that's what I really enjoyed doing when I wanted to get away.
Now, before 2010, there's some brief stuff that had happened to you that kind of put you in the course where you are today. What was some of the stuff that happened in 2010 that brought you on the path that you're on now?
So let's see, right before 2010, or not right before, say 2004, we were signed to a record company in a band called The Terms. We were kind of an alternative rock band, a little different, a little more produced. We were all still students at LSU, and the record label would fly us to LA to record at Capitol Records every weekend while we're in school. So we would get on a plane Friday afternoon, record Saturday, Sunday, fly back home Sunday night, and back in the classroom on Monday. And we did that for 3 or 4 months, and then we took our Christmas break and finished the album. We recorded Capitol Records Studio B, with Greg Ladani. Greg Ladani was the producer. He did Jackson Brown's stuff, Don Henley, Toto, a couple of Fleetwood Mac. You're a huge
fan of Jackson Brown, I believe.
Yeah, big fan of Jackson Brown.
So I know that, yeah.
But so we just kind of hit the ground running, and in 2006 the band was in a car accident where three of the band members were pretty seriously injured. And the label, we couldn't do anything. So I stayed on as a songwriter for the label, moved to New York City, wrote a little while, met my significant other. And then shortly after that, Greg Ladani, who was the label head and mentor, he fell off a stage in Greece right before a show and broke his neck. That was late 2009. Yeah. So pretty random and wacky tragedies. And so I came back to Louisiana, kind of on my own now. I mean, he was the one for the label when the band was there. And then I stayed on writing with him and a guy named Danny Korchmar. Mm-hmm. But then after that happened, I was kind of like, okay, kind of got to change gears, take a look at the future and figure out what to do. And so luckily had a beautiful girlfriend who's now my wife, and started a band here back in Louisiana with some guys, and we put out four studio albums, self-produced, self-recorded, our own budget, kind of how we've always done it, our own record labels, grassroots, ground up kind of stuff.
What were the name of the albums that you guys put out?
So we called ourselves Ben Labat and the Happy Devil. We put out A Face for Radio.
Name.
Yeah.
It's a
Face for Radio. Yeah, Face for Radio in 2010. Soapbox Anthems in 2012. The Revival 2014, and Homeward in 2017. So yeah, 4 of those albums, and we recorded a bunch of stuff. We got to go through the back catalog and find some of it. But yeah, so just we dropped the Happy Devil name, Ben Labat, but it's still all these songs. It's still all the same guys writing, recording with me. We just
so you guys still stay together. It's just now under your name.
Oh, yeah.
Underneath the whole name. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. That's very cool.
Because they thought a lot of people thought the Happy Devil was silly.
Yeah.
So I
Actually,
said,
like it. I thought that makes
maybe
it
it
kind
is
of
silly.
memorable in the head, when you hear it.
Yeah.
So with some of the influences, and of course, one of the ones we're going to talk about here, of course, is Jackson Browne, who has had some significant hits. I'm just going to name a few here, which you probably already know all of these. But
Right.
for anybody listening, Somebody Baby was a big hit that was from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I believe. That was released on then. And then we got the song Stay, which I actually did not know that he recorded. I had no idea.
They recorded that in Saratoga Springs, New York, I think, live. And so the whole thing without that Running on Empty album, everything was recorded on the road, in hotel rooms, on a bus, in theaters. And I think there's a song, Silver Eagle. That's the name of the tour bus they had. They recorded the song on the tour bus while they were going down the highway. And you can, if you listen, that's kind of the secret. When Greg Ladani did that, who we just talked about, and he said if you listen closely, you can hear the bus humming underneath the song, and it kind of just rolling down the road.
That's incredible. That's
So,
When I was doing research, I didn't realize so many songs, and even a song called "Doctor My Eyes."
Yep,
I had no idea. I had no clue at all.
Yeah, Running on Empty, Doctor My Eyes. What was the other one? Take It Easy. He wrote Take It Easy that the Eagles made a hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wrote, and then there was Nico and the Velvet Underground made a song called These Days, pretty popular. Well, I've been out walking, but she sings it very in that Velvet Underground voice.
Yeah.
And that was pretty popular. He had a few, man. He had a few.
Has he been kind of a mainstay for your influence for what you do now? Is he kind of someone that, I know you're a big fan of him, but is he someone that you look up to, his style, the way he writes? Does that implement into what you're doing?
Yeah, because I think it's a little bit more intelligent songwriting.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like it's a little bit stronger songwriting? Oh, I don't think I lost you.
Oh, I tried to stay away from.
Oh, there we go. I got you back. We lost you there for a moment. It froze up. Sorry, that was a screenshot picture there. So you're saying that with the writing process, actually, let's kind of go to that part. How is your writing process? What is important to you when you start a song and start to actually lay down the tracks or idea of a song?
I think it has to come somewhere, whether it's I've tried to do the right on demand type thing. We need a pop song. We need it just didn't jive for me. It's got to come from a personal place. So sometimes lyrics come first. Sometimes it's a rhythm on a guitar, or the band plays a groove and we get something. Lyrically, I'm always jotting down ideas, phrases. And now that we have the little voice memo on your phone, I must have 1,000 little snippets of, some of it's garbage, but you never know unless you can't let it escape, right? So once it's gone, it's gone. And I've done that a couple of times. Wow, this is going to be gold. This is going to be a wonderful idea. Went to sleep on it and woke up and like, nope, it's gone. Can't remember a lick of what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And the process, I write a lot on my piano and on my guitar myself, just sitting down. And like you can see I got my computer and all behind me.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. So you have your own like little personal studio that you kind of do stuff with. So you have your own like personal. You have your own personal little studio that you do stuff with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was working on something right before we got on here. So whether it's just getting an idea down, or really, you can do a lot of stuff in a home studio because technology is so. It's so good now, and it's accessible to everyone. before Rocket Heart came out, we did something called the Bayou Fever Sessions, where this is right when COVID had started and lockdown, and a lot of my musician friends that tours were canceled and things like that. Instead of some of these guys just play restaurants and clubs and stuff 4 or 5 times a week, and that's their living, and all that was just shut down. So the rug got pulled out from underneath them. We were able to raise a little money, and not much as we'd like to, and pay these guys as studio musicians from their homes to record on a few songs. So if you went look at my catalog recently and you saw Born to Cross Lines, War Horses and Starlight, Tough Love, Bring on the Pain, those songs were all recorded during COVID, all isolated, just sending tracks back and forth to each other to our different little home studios.
That's the part that's incredible to me, because I just remember 20 years ago when I started working in radio at that time, and I was actually trying to do something in music, and I say try with air quotes in there. But I remember the whole setup I had was this analog 16-track board that went into the computer, but the computer didn't have a strong enough audio card to be able to record it. So I had to record it into a 4-track system, just the whole thing. So yeah, now you got USB mics you can put in, plug straight it's incredible.
It really is incredible what you can do now. So a lot of my final take vocal tracks on all the stuff I've done over the last, probably 8 years, besides the first couple albums we did, have been on a home rig. Because I'll get the plugins, a high-end microphone, a good universal audio interface, and it sounds pristine. It sounds like, I don't know if it's pristine, if that's the right term, but it sounds like I want it to sound. So drums, bass, stuff that is big acoustic and needs a lot of area, that's better to do in a studio, obviously.
How did you record the song Rocket Heart? How was that recorded? How did that come together?
So Rocket Heart, so we rehearsed, we wrote it, I think I wrote it on acoustic guitar and piano, kind of go back and forth. It was, I think, 2 songs initially. I didn't have a chorus for the "You and Your Rocket Heart," and we just kind of kept looping that over and over again. And I think out of frustration or whatever, another song I was working on, I changed the keys on it, or changed the key of the song, and I just mashed it together. So that's how the chorus came in. If I'm going down in flames, and then it kind of became one song. So we rehearsed that, same group of guys that were in the Happy Devil, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and then we went to the Music Shed Studios in New Orleans, and cut the drums, acoustic guitar, and bass guitar. We actually filmed a music video there too while we were doing it. I
saw the music video. So that's actually in the studio that you guys were recording in.
Yeah, that was the day of the studio, the day we recorded those particular tracks. So yeah, we don't necessarily have the budget to go in there into a studio for like 2 months and write and record every day. So we rehearse our rehearsal space, and then we go and record it like it's already been done.
It's a beautiful song, and it sort of gives me kind of this reminiscent sound of Jacob Dylan, sort of.
I'll take that. I'm a Jacob Dylan fan too.
And so hearing your voice, it immediately just it was almost like it's not Jacob Dylan sound, but you can see the similarities there that are on that vocal performance. So, and I say that with high praise, because the Wallflowers is a great band too at that time. Now with 2021 coming up and you're still recording music, do you have some new singles that you're going to be pushing out soon here coming up in the rest of this year?
So probably not the rest of this year. In 2021, I'll probably put out an acoustic album and maybe some I never let anybody pigeonhole me or put me into a genre, so we have some 80s style music that
nice, with
some synthesizers and some spacey guitars that I think I think it's really cool. And
I'm an
if music's
80s
not
fan,
fun for me,
man. I'm an
it's not
80s
worth
fan.
doing. So
I'll take that.
I can send you some demos if you want. Like, what?
That'd be sweet to hear
This
that.
is not. I don't hear any steel guitar on this thing. What is going on? So, man, so that's a possibility. I'm definitely going to put out an acoustic album of the songs I've. It's easier right now until everything opens back up and we can get back in a rehearsal room with the guys I usually write and record with. It's easier for me to sit right here with my acoustic guitar and microphone and sing these songs straight in, mix and master them right there, and release everything. So it's all lo-fi, but after you listen to the Lumineers and some other acts like that really have captured that lo-fi sound and made it their own, there's no reason for me right now to try and work around, the COVID and lockdown restrictions and go, way out of our way and spend money to try and do something in a studio when I can just do it right here. And we can't go out and tour on any big album that we've spent a lot of work on. So it would be easier for me if you want me to go out and do a tour when everything lifts up. At that point, it'd be easier to go do it just me and the acoustic guitar because that's.
Are you thinking about possibly doing that for 2021? Are you thinking if everything kind of comes back that you might, after everything gets recorded, you get everything where you want it to be, that you actually might do maybe a United States kind of tour stop around the area? Do you think that's a plan in the future?
I would love to. Actually, you're in Raleigh, aren't you?
Yeah, Raleigh, North Carolina. Yep.
Yeah. So, we had planned on coming up there a couple times, and for whatever reason, it just got diverted. But we were not coming to play at a venue. My second cousin owns a restaurant called Stanberry in Raleigh.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
And we were gonna go and play on their patio for a couple
that would have
nights.
been great. If you do that, you got to let me know. I would love to go. I would love to go check.
I will do.
Look
up their restaurant though. So they get a lot of rave reviews right now, or they have been. I think they've been open for about 2 or 3 years. That's pretty good for a restaurant.
Yeah, most of the time I notice that with shows. What's funny to me, at least, when you talk with artists and bands and musicians, how they kind of start off, where some of them will play at certain different venues, smaller clubs, things like that, and they kind of go through the whole process of going up. Have you ever found yourself? And I ask this because a lot of artists and bands I talk to, do you ever find yourself get frustrated when you go and do a show and it might be a smaller venue as opposed to a big venue? Or are you someone that you just enjoy the experience, sharing the music and going out and just meeting people?
No. I like playing. I like writing and recording. Obviously you don't want to. I played hundreds of gigs when I was younger. And college like that, where they just wanted to hear Jesse's Girl and Freebird and stuff like that. So that was, for someone who spent a lot of time writing his own music, that was frustrating when they just want to hear party songs. Which is not, I like to go out and hear party songs too sometimes, right? Yeah. But that was frustrating. But if it's a small, intimate place, we played a listening room in Shreveport, Louisiana, right before, I think it was, right at the end of February, right before everything kind of shut down. And it was limited to like 150 people. It was like really, really intimate and there was no reverb anywhere in the room. It was like a studio. Wow. And like in between songs, it was so intimate. It was eerie kind of. It was no chit chat. There was no, like, if we stopped, there was just dead silence, and then everybody would kind of applaud. That was great. Now we've played at bigger venue, played the Gold Dome in Shreveport, opening for Better Than Ezra and things like that. And, there's a few thousand people there. We played festivals with a few thousand people. As long as the audience is engaged, whether it's, 100 people or 10,000 people, I'm fine. And if you're playing some type of, a wedding reception, which I've done a few of those too, and everybody just wants to hear what they want to hear. They're not here for it to as a listening experience. They're here just to be a part of the party.
I think it does.
Huh.
It's sort of this really more personal experience, I think, with the fans. There's a singer-songwriter who I've talked to. His name is JD Iker. And when I saw him live, you get this more personal experience with the artist and the musician. You get this it's a more engaging kind of experience.
Right.
Was at those particular kind of shows. So I've always liked those, like the kind of more personal shows, because you get more the feeling of what the singer songwriter is actually trying to express through his music.
And it gave you a little room to talk. I mean, we were encouraged to, tell a little story about the song, as if you're playing a bigger rock venue where everybody's, they just want the show to keep driving, the songs to keep going. They're not here for a story. They're here for a rock concert. Either one's fine. You just got to feel it out and know what you're getting into, and not try to melt faces in a playhouse or, tell a 6-minute story about the origin of this song, at a festival.
Have you ever had songs that you have written in the past that you kind of tossed to the side and were like, nah, I'm not going to do that, but then years later figure out, oh, this is perfect for this part of the track that I'm working on? Have you ever revisited old stuff that you've done for new material that you're working on?
Yeah, absolutely. You talking about in the recording process or playing?
Yeah, just the recording, or just even writing, or as the whole process? Because I know sometimes people think of musicians as going into a room and all they're doing is focusing on that one thing, but you're not actually, picking apart from different things you might have done previously.
So look, man, this is a book I got my wife got it for me in 2006, right?
Oh, wow.
So I have lines and lines of stuff that I've never touched. If I've one last wish, one more cigarette, one more light, one less firecracker. The roads cross, the dreams break, but we keep trucking, whatever it takes. I mean, I don't even remember writing some of this stuff down, but yeah. I mean, it's there's 200 pages here. This is like, one of like 6 of those I have. So, yeah, wow. I'll go back through it. Like if I'm stuck, I'm like, man, I need another verse. So no, I don't think. Now there have been occasions where I've sat down and it all just came out on the page. Boom, easy. Mm-hmm. That's for me. That's rare, because I'm not just gonna spit out some generic pop lines. Or generic country or generic rock, whatever it is, lines that people want to hear because it's going to help you sell a record. I'll put a little more Jacob Dylan, a little more thought into it, a little more Jackson Brown thought to make try and say something that nobody's said before, or say it in a way that nobody's said before. So no, I'll go back. I can go way back if I have to.
A couple of years back, especially with a book like that, you got plenty of space to write on there for it too.
As long as it's relevant, like, oh, who's that song about? That's like, man, it's about a lot of different people actually that all had a particular type of influence on me, good or bad, and then like it kind of just all got muddled together, and then that's what it is.
Do you have people in your life that when you're writing music that you kind of look for to let you know, no, not that? No, not that. Okay, I like that. Like, do you have people like, do your kids ever come in and being like, Dad, no, Dad?
Yeah. So we were doing, like when I was telling you about those 80s songs, 80s style, kind of like, there's dance beats and stuff. It's kind of out of frustration, started messing with beats and MIDI and stuff because we couldn't get together in a room with the band. So we started just, me and the guys kind of passing these tracks back and forth. And it turns out when I'm, picking an acoustic guitar and singing, the kids are like, oh, Dad, we're trying to watch TV. And I'm like, but, right? And that's what it is. I mean, there was songs were too sincere or genuine or just putting too much thought into it. Then I put on the little 80s feel thing and started just yelling silly stuff into the microphone. And it's like their favorite song now. So they have So it's like, yeah, I'll look to them because a child won't be, they won't tell you what you want to hear because that's your, their political affiliation or their mantra or what they're just whoop, nope, that's dumb. That's not a good idea. Or like just randomly, I came up with an idea called Wolf Blood Mother. I just started saying Wolf Blood Mother. And now they're like, Dad, is that song out yet? We want to look. Alexa, can you play Wolf Blood Mother? Guys, it's not out. Like, it's still in the session. Like, well, when's it going to come out? I was like, I don't know. Maybe not till summer of 2021.
I love the fact that your kid is saying, "Hey Alexa, play this song." Yeah. That's great.
Oh, they get wacky with Alexa, but
that's great. That is too.
But no, they're kids are very honest. They'll tell me if it's good. They'll tell me if it's not, or if they think somebody else would like it.
Where do you think, before I'm also going to ask some questions that a lot of our listeners like to ask musicians and artists, kind of a quick round. But before I get into that, where would you like to be? What is your hopeful goal in the future with your music? Like, where do you want to go? Do you have any kind of time frame you're thinking of, a path that you want to reach, or you just want to keep creating good music that makes you happy? Like, do you have a certain goal for the next couple of years?
Ooh, that's a tough one. And that's been something I've struggled with, because music for me, I never set goals. I would just, like you said, I would create when I wanted to create. It's kind of why I stepped away from the label and the publishing deal. I never wanted to be a songwriter. I wanted to be somebody who wrote songs when I wanted to. With that being said, I do want to do more with it on the national scene, because I'm pretty much regional. I don't go all over the country. We do Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, over Alabama a little bit, but not all over the place. We have played everywhere. I've been to Nashville, LA, New York, but it's not a regular thing.
No.
I would like to be on a more regular. I'd love for Bruce Springsteen to call and say, "Hey Ben, we need to come up here and open for me on this next North American tour."
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I would love to get a little more notoriety, have the right people listen to what I'm putting out, and have do this all day long and make a little bit more of a substantial living at it, as opposed to having to supplement income doing other things.
Yeah.
But that's tough. I mean, I'm not a starving artist. I made that decision a long time ago, that I would not solely rely on music to feed myself, feed my family, and this stuff. So it would be nice to make more money with music, or at least not a fortune, but to have it, get some traction and to reach more people, man. People that create, whether it's sculpture or painting or architecture or music, they just want people to they want to share it with people, right? So it's sometimes it's discouraging. You think you're gonna have, you would love Rocket Heart to see 3 million streams tomorrow on Spotify, because man, it just took off and people are really liking it. I was like, man, it's great. I feel good about that. I felt great making it. I'm very proud of it, but it'd be also nice to receive some accolades for it on a grander level. It's like a painter wants his painting hung up at the entryway of some museum, or a sculptor would love his sculpture in a park somewhere, and people appreciate it. I think that's what most people that create want. As far as setting a goal for that's next year or 5 years, or I don't know, man. I got plans to just keep making it. I know Kelly. She's fabulous. Kelly's
she is. Yeah, I've worked with her many times before, and she's just always top notch. Always top notch.
She's top notch, and she's just keep doing it, Ben. Keep plugging away. Keep releasing. Don't just keep working at it. And man, small circles. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and making music in 20 plus years now, releasing stuff and all that. So I don't have any intention of stopping, especially when I've written between 40 and 50 songs in the last 9 months. So it's just a matter of getting it out. I'd love to see a little bit more see it get a little bbit further, see the songs go, see the streaming numbers, and the, people start to really pay attention to it. And
well, people that I know, I have some friends and some people that will always reach out to me saying, hey, have you heard about a new artist or new musician coming up? And I sent out your YouTube video, and all I got back from them was, who is this guy? Like, this is really good. We've never heard of this guy before. Or, oh my God, can we buy the single? So even the people I've sent it out to, it's making an impact on them, because the song is just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's got this powerful, just versatile feel to it. Like, when you listen to it, it's not one of those songs, and this is going to sound like I'm doing overpraise here, but when you do the song and you start to hear it, it's a song that you want to continue listening to. It's not one that when you start to hear it, you go and change the channel. Right. It's one of those songs that kind of sucks you in.
That's what that's what I shoot for. I mean, if you can get somebody in the first few seconds, man, because look, I'm picky too. If you don't grab me soon, dude, I'm on to something else. I mean, what is? So I'll go to Apple's or Spotify playlist, and like, where it's random, or Apple does the Americana one or the alternative rock, and they'll put the new stuff up. I'd love to get on one of those too, by the way. That's a life goal right there. But that, man, if it's not, I'm like, how did this get on there? It's not really good, dude. I'm done in like 5 seconds if it doesn't grab me with some, well-recorded instrumentation or a hook or mouth. And that's a lot of people are, and that's a lot of people in the industry are. You got to grab it quick and make them want to continue to listen, like you said, not be forced. Oh, I guess I got to listen to 30 seconds to see if anything good happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I don't want to have to wonder. Nope. Maybe the chorus is going to be better. Nope, still not good.
Yeah, that's so true. That's how it is. And I think for a lot of us, even people, because, and to be honest too, there's so much music out there today. There's so much. And when you get bombarded, because we got Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all these places that we can get music from, that our attention spans almost in some ways just can't, keep listening to something unless it sucks us in on that. And that's going to be tough for a musician or an artist as well. That has to be tough to even try to create something. Well, makes you happy, but try to create something that's going to bring people in. Yeah,
it's a balance. It's a balance for sure. I mean, you can look. I mean, I think, was it Blur that made the song 2 as a joke?
Yes. Yeah.
And dude, I mean, they're like, okay, you want something more pop, and you don't want us to write all this other stuff. Here you go. And they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I remember that song was played on the radio all the time.
Annoyingly so.
That was all the time.
Yeah, it's a balance, man. It's a balance. That's what it is.
So some of the questions that our listeners always like us to ask is, one of the first ones, I ask this to everybody, is what is one thing you can't live without? Whether that is in music, in life, whether that's when you're going out and playing shows, but one thing that you're like, nope, got to have it with me all the time.
Is it a material thing?
It could be material, or it could be anything. People? It could be people.
Ooh. No, you can catch flack for this one. Right?
We'll mute this part out in case if anybody's
mute this part. One thing, I would say the right attitude.
I like that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right attitude, man. It doesn't matter what you're going into. And I'm not, we could talk about material things. We could talk about people. But I think if, no matter where you're going into, if you're prepared and your mind's in the right place, you'll be all right. So anywhere I go, whether it's coming to do an interview like this, or going to a rough job, or going to a funeral, or to a birthday party, or a concert, when there's going to be 20,000 people, you have the right attitude for that. So take that with you. That's my one thing.
I like that. And the other question is this is kind of weird for each artist and each band, but have you had anything very strange happen to you? Something that's odd, that would be this kind of, not normalcy thing, whether you were at a show, recording process, or some story from the road, or even in the process of writing, because you've been doing it for a long time. that you would say like, yeah, that's pretty messed up that happened, or that was odd that happened?
Does it have to be negative, or could it just be like a strange experience?
Just a strange,
like, wow,
just a strange experience.
We went to see the Stone Temple Pilots play at State Palace Theater in New Orleans. I think I just started, it's probably in 2001, 2002. And Robert DeLeo on the bass.
When
Scott Weiland was still in the band.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I had dyed my hair pink. Like I was a freak. I mean, I love when he had his hair pink like that, and like so they remembered me in the front row. And I remember Robert DeLeo. I think they were playing Meat Plow. I don't know if you're a Stone Temple Pilots fan, but dum 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 dum. But he came out and he was like stepped on the front speaker and like he stuck the bass out and he's like, "You know the song, play it." I'm like, "What?" And I started banging on the bass and it sounded terrible. And everyone was like, "Man, don't let that kid play." Well, but he, you know, I was in the crowd reaching up, just slapping his bass guitar, and I think like either the dean or somebody pulled him back and was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Don't let that kid hit the bass. The song sounds terrible now." And fast forward 4 or 5 years, we went to the B.B. King's lounge in Los Angeles, and they have an all-star band on stage, and this is when we were recording the record at Capitol Records, and Greg Ladani brought us there. He knew Steve Ferrone. Steve Ferrone played in the Average White Band. He's Tom Petty's drummer. He played with Bob Dylan. The guitar player and the bass player are the DeLeo brothers, Robert and Dean DeLeo, and the guy who's singing was the singer for Filter. I can't remember his name.
Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that band.
Dude,
I don't even know how long.
And then,
wow.
And then they also had another guy on stage singing and playing the tambourine, and he was Carlos Santana's "He's a Black Magic Woman." So it was a very eclectic mix of musicians up there to hear. You know, they would do a they played Interstate Love Song, and the guy from Santana's singing it. So it sounds, I mean, it's different. I mean, it's cool. But after the show, like, "Man, you want to go meet these guys?" Because we were with Greg, who was good friends with Steve. And we went to meet him, and like we shook hands with the DeLeo brothers. I'm like, "Dude, I can't tell you how big a fan. I've seen you like 10 times. I used to dye my hair pink like Weiland." And I remember going to the show in New Orleans and slapping you. He's like, "Dude, I remember that." He said, "And Dean wanted me to stop letting you hit the guitar because you were making too much racket." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that was me. I was the kid in the front with the pink hair slapping your guitar in your world." So that's my little weird experience. It kind of came full circle.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is awesome. The fact you just slapping his bass and then years later you come full circle just to tell him and he actually remembered you.
Yeah,
that's
they
incredible.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Oh, but is there anything you would like to let our listeners know about, anything that's upcoming, to check out certain links, websites? And again, anybody that's listening and watching, you will be able to find all of his links at f28live.com. But is there anything you'd like to let the fans know?
Man, I appreciate everybody that listens to new stuff, that appreciates music that's written by people, real people. That's not just, cookie cutter and spitting out the next pop song. That means a lot to us. So keep listening. Support your local artists. Support your local radio stations, venues, all that stuff when you can. Of course, I mean, you can't do all that right now, but yeah, thank you, man. You can go to benlabat.com, Ben Labat Music on Instagram, Facebook. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on YouTube. Got a few videos up there. And yeah, we're just appreciative, man. We're just glad to be here.
No, you're a great artist, and I'm glad I got the chance to talk with you. And we'll definitely have to, as new songs come out, let me know. We'll have to do a recount on it to see what the new music is coming up in the future.
I'll let you hear some of that 80s style stuff too.
See, that's what I'm looking forward to right there. See, I'm an 80s child, so I got to hear some of that on there. Well, thanks, Ben, for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. And again, everybody go to f28live.com, click on the podcast link. You'll see all the information to Ben to reach out to him, his music and everything like that as well. So, Ben, thanks again for talking with me, and best of luck, and I hope to talk with you soon.
All right, Chris. Thank you, man. Y'all take care.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, man.